Hello, and welcome back to Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jim.
And we're back. We're at the end of the flashback arc before it goes on like a 3-week break to the end of the month.
That's sad.
Yes.
But I'm happy that we did it how we did it.
Yes, I get to.
Between we watched the first 3 episodes and then we had these 2, I was really anticipating these 2 episodes.
Yes.
Sorry, what episodes did we watch?
We've been craving them. We watched, I guess, episode 4 and 5 of season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Hidden Inventory Part 4, and
Premature Death, I think.
Premature Death or Premature Bear?
I think it's Premature Death.
Premature Death, yes. Premature Bear is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's banned.
You dork.
Shut up. It's banned.
So, in between our little watch sessions, I did actually rewatch the movie.
But first, if you don't know, this is our Jujutsu Kaisen anime. We're both anime-only recap discussion podcasts. All right, that's why I get that out of the way to say we don't know much about the manga other than very little bits and pieces that we may have seen on X.
Yes, and it's funny you said this is how broken my brain is. When you said X, I literally thought you were talking about the 4chan board X, which is the paranormal board.
I want to call it Key because in Kingdom Hearts,
the Keyblade,
Kingdom Hearts,
the Keyblade.
Yeah. They call it the Keyblade because of X on the subtitle because it's like the Greek alphabet. It's called the Keyblade. Yeah. I got so mad seeing that all the time.
But so yes, thank you for reminding. We are anime only, and we actually got a lot of comments last video, which we were happy about.
We came back with we didn't watch any recap of season 1 or the movie, which Jim will come around back to the movie because he watched that again.
Yes, and it's funny. So one of our top comments was Shoko was actually in season 1. She's the doctor lady that helps Yuji's autopsy. And when Gojo tells to alter the record to say that Yuji was still dead, even though he survived, that was by Flavortown 952.
Guy Fieri.
Thank you, Guy Fieri. And it's really funny because I responded, because I had watched the movie after I saw this comment, or before I saw this comment. So I saw Shoko is in the movie, and I replied to this person and said, I rewatched the movie and I noticed her. I'm not going to tell Sam because I just want him to think she's going to die.
And you were right.
The whole time,
you were right.
I was waiting for you to be like, oh, Shoko's going to die here.
She does nothing in this entire thing other than, she healed me off screen.
It is really hilarious. Unless we do get more flashbacks with this crew later on, it's really funny how much time is spent in the OP making them seem like they're like the main cast of an anime.
Nanami's good friends, and his one friend that also is there is great friends with them all. Look at this great animation of them walking down some stairs.
They're all gonna hang out and get ramen or something.
They're gonna play Final Fight or Street Fighter.
But yeah, we had a lot of really good comments. I don't want to just read all of them because you can take a look at them all.
There's one in particular that I'm actually we can discuss about because it's a thing that I think watching these 2 episodes, and this is even before Gojo became
God tier. That's really good timing. To talk about the one. So let me read through a few more first, and we'll jump off that one.
Because I think one of one of Jim's first prediction things in there was there's no way Gojo can make it through the series because he's too strong. They have to kill him or fridge him or something.
Yeah, he's just incredible. Okay, but so another comment that we got that I really liked was from Bob's Job is Fob. Said basically, I'll just summarize. Basically, said that we made the right choice being anime only with Jujutsu Kaisen, but being manga readers for Chainsaw Man, because in their opinion, the anime is way better than the manga for JJK, and then vice versa for Chainsaw Man. Which it's really funny. I thought the Chainsaw Man anime was really, really good, but to me, it doesn't feel like Chainsaw Man does.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain myself, but
you had a lot of the manga doesn't have that the the dirty grimy look to it
it's gonna sound weird. I feel like the anime it takes itself more seriously than the manga does.
As you cut to our recent chapter of a song being sung while he's fighting a bunch of goons,
in Chainsaw Man and a lot of other stuff by the author whose name's I forget. Fujimoto, thank you. There's such a chaos in every chapter. You never realize, or you can never predict what's going to happen, and everything feels so crazy and unpredictable.
Yeah.
But I thought so far, just to talk about these first 5 episodes of JJK, I've been really, really impressed with the adaptation.
Yes.
At least from my understanding, just the way that it's paced as an anime, it feels very, very strong.
Yes, and
And the direction is really, really good.
Some of the actors, some of the animation has been really good. We haven't gotten to the Maki, the Maki Miwa fight animation tier, but still, it's still really
great,
good.
And like a lot of good character animation too. Like the last scene with Ghetto in the
We didn't get a Black Flash, but
we didn't get a Black Flash. Oh my god, thank you for bringing that up. The last scene with Ghetto where he's like takes over the cult at the end.
It's very
his animation in that scene was like very like it was very like it looked rotoscoped almost.
Also felt like an Ava like scene where they just like,
with
cut
the abrupt
the
cut
dialogue,
to black, yeah.
And like
and the hyper violence, yeah.
Very much like that. And I did kind of love that though.
Yeah, it's really weird lately. I feel like I've been seeing Ava in everything. And I
everywhere I go,
it.
I see its face.
I kind of hate it. I mean, I love Ava. Don't get me wrong, and I love the direction style of Ava. But it's like, all right, Ava's like over 20 years old, guys. Like, we need to move on. Like, we can't just keep referencing Ava with all our like the fucking Superman show. I was watching that new fucking.
I haven't watched any of that.
The Lois Lane tomboy show.
I just see more art of her on Twitter than anything.
Yeah. The first episode, there's like these very Ava inspired mechs. And I'm like, really, guys? Like, Ava came out in like 97. Are we still doing? Like...
Everybody's still in their Ava phase. It's on. Since it's on, you know, you can watch all the rebuilds on Amazon and Netflix has it all in there. You can just like watch it.
Yeah, whatever. Okay,
hey,
I'm just ranting.
I watch it now. I now cultured in that, so I can understand the reference.
Yeah.
So
you can also be like, wow, this is a 30-year-old.
Hey, if you want to listen to my journey through Ava, our Ava podcast is on there in full. I think there's a playlist for it.
Yes, there is. Was there a funny name for it? Did we have a funny name? I think it's
called
AvaCast.
Yeah, it's called AvaCast.
I couldn't think of a funny name.
You hear me like, losing my mind about the last rebuild movie, and me like not liking half of that.
I really loved that first half.
That first half is very good. The second half, not so much. But anything else? Are you going to get to the...
Oh, there's one thing that was a good correction that I really appreciate. Yes. Because some of this stuff, we do talk over...
If you don't know, we tend to forget stuff very easily.
That's true.
That's why we have the comics to correct ourselves.
And we do laugh and talk over scenes sometimes, so we do forget... or we do not notice something. So somebody said, a slight thing that you guys got wrong. Tengen is the one whose soul will evolve if the assimilation doesn't happen, not the Star Plasma Vessel. So I was under the impression that the girl the middle school girl who got killed, I thought she was going to be the one that would evolve into the...
No.
It was actually Tengen. Like
yes, Tengen, it's the vessel he's currently in if he doesn't get the new vessel. Yeah. That vessel right now
that would be the one that would continue to grow and then like become an issue. So. Yeah,
but don't worry, that whole issue solves itself off screen. It's fine.
Someone else just said that the anime has really been fixing like everything that was off from the manga.
Okay,
which is really interesting too. After watching the movie,
go ahead about your movie experience.
Yeah, so I really want to like read the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero manga just because. Well, I don't know if it's called Zero, whatever it's called, but just because like there's so much in it that feels like it was like trying to like propel stuff in the main story forward. Yeah. So it feels like that was definitely added into the anime adaptation.
I definitely want to rewatch it now after finishing this prequel arc, because this arc alone has done so much for Goto that it's like I'm like liking him now, because I didn't get like, any real feeling of him at all in like the first season. And the movie did a little bit for him, but yeah, this is I'm super interested now.
I find Ghetto to be so compelling. He's probably my favorite part of Jujutsu Kaisen right now. Just like thinking, I want to go back and like watch season 1. Because like we've talked about the villains being kind of flaccid.
They only build up because like, every goon he has are just jobbers that get their asses beat for the most part, and you know they have like we have a spy in there, which is the robot guy, if you remember that plot point. Yeah, which is like who cares? And then there's like Sukuna, who's just like. Right now, he's like very nine-tailed fox in Naruto, where he's like they got him suppressed a lot, and like he's either gonna break free eventually, or jump to another vessel, or like something stupid.
It's really funny to me how that is like the thing I care about the absolute least.
Yes,
like I know that is like literally the hook. That's like the shonen hook of the series.
I like the finger gimmick, but yeah, Sukuna. I do like Sukuna being like, if you fucking come in here, but while I'm in here, and like I'm going to fuck your shit up, like I'm like. When the guy,
I love that part.
It's so good when Mojito goes in there. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
But like, just comparing Ghetto to Mojito, like Ghetto after these, so we had 5 flashback episodes and the movies, kind of like a little bit of characterization for him. I find him so compelling,
and I feel like now that like Gojo has to be the one to fight him.
Definitely.
Like
it would be really strange. Like
Mojito is built up more to be Yuji's.
Yeah, because he's his whole thing. But also, I love comparing him to oh my god, I always forget his name. The kid that Mojito Junpei, yeah. Junpei is like such a nothing character compared to Ghetto, who like he was like raised in this whole like world of jujutsu sorcery. He's not just like a curse or like an evil guy or an evil man, if you will.
He's a kid.
He's like he's been corrupted by what he's seen.
Yes.
And like has committed horror. Like by the end of these 2 episodes, he's like a mass murderer. This guy is bad news.
He goes through a lot of like contemplating like a eternal struggle, really. And I feel, as we'll get to, the one character didn't really like help. I think kind of steered him that way.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, just thinking about how like the kind of part of the inciting incident for this whole change was the cult, and he was at the end of the day able to like take that power back and like
what's interesting,
capitalize on it.
Jujutsu Kaisen, like, especially in the first scene, we kind of learned that like even the Jujutsu school is not all good. Like there is some corruption in there, and we got like the human side in this flashback. Have been like, okay, there's corruption there. Like
Gojo is presented as like the only good guy.
He's the guy keeping the Jujutsu school in check, because if they go off of him, he fucks them up.
Because we know that there's kind of bad actors there, but Gojo is presented as this good guy, which is so crazy in hindsight, because after seeing him in the flashbacks, like Gojo is fucked up. Gojo is like extremely traumatized.
When he died that one time, he kind of loses his mind. So.
Okay, the last comment, and we'll maybe like save this for a little bit later, because I kind of want to just go through the plot.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find it now.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's gonna be weird coming back to like the main characters now that I'm more invested in, like the Ghetto Gojo.
Yeah, me too.
Stuff.
I think that's really compelling. Oh, sorry, I didn't credit. The person who corrected us about Tengen was Frog Crow 4170. Thank you, Frog Crow.
You.
I can't fucking find this comment.
This is probably like one of our most interactive like podcasts.
Yeah, we've never really done this before, honestly.
Rather than like a Q&A.
I think it was a longer question.
It's the one about Gojo, right?
Yes, it's the one about Gojo. Okay, so Percy the Cat, thank you for this. Basically, kind of brought up this idea of like, I'll just kind of quote them. I don't know how to feel about Gojo. Initially, I thought it was funny because he was basically a Mary Sue that the villains had to work around. But having him as an actual main character, ... I'm just not getting the impression that he's as cool as the manga seems to think he is. He gives me Poochie vibes.
It's very much of like, okay, this is an OP character. We had to bring in there. But oh no, they got insanely popular. Like, we can't write them off now because it's too much popularity for characters, and people will stop reading it for our fan favorite character.
Yeah. And it seems to like double down. The flashbacks double down on him being like the strongest man alive.
Yeah, it really. Even though like he still doesn't have mastery over his powers, as we learned like throughout this flashbacks, until at the very end he just does for the most part.
It just takes him a year and he's all good.
I'm trying to think. Can you think of any other characters like that were like completely like strong, or like you know, and then because of popularity they kind of became like a Mary Sue, or like they couldn't get rid of them despite them being powerful. Always had to have them in there.
It's definitely happened. I mean, doesn't Dragon Ball have this issue with Goku basically, where
pretty much
Toriyama like continues to bring Goku back throughout the series just because he's like the guy who's always like can get the strongest.
Yeah, Goku, and I guess Frieza coming back too.
That's kind of like a recent thing though, because Frieza only came back in like movies and like the funny scene where Trunks destroys Frieza in like a second.
I'm trying to think of like, because you know Naruto, but I think like you know Sasuke being so popular that he kind of like had to like try to redeem him at the very end, even though he's like, from what little things I've read at the end, like the spin-off manga, like Sasuke has been like the best character at post Naruto.
Is Sasuke a character that commits war crimes? Is it
Orochimaru done human experiments, murdered so many people, murdered a Hokage, basically murdering a president essentially, and then he is under house arrest and invited to Naruto's wedding.
Yeah, that's the thing I've seen. I've seen that tweet.
It's insane
like,
to think
this man was invited to Naruto's wedding.
Like, imagine if like, what's his name in Hunter x Hunter? Imagine if any of the 4 boys, and like, oh, we invited Chrollo to the wedding, or Chrollo and Hisoka to the wedding of like any of the boys. Like,
it's funny that you bring that up. I'm sure our comments can give us other examples in manga, because I feel like it definitely is like a. Like, manga has that benefit of being like a long-running story where the writer can respond. Because right now I'm going through One Piece, and I can't really think of like an example in One Piece aside from the fact that the main characters are already like incredibly strong. Like Zoro,
even Luffy gets his ass beat. He's like the main character.
Yeah, I mean Luffy does always.
He gets the final punch at the end, but like before he gets there, he gets his ass beat a lot.
Yeah, it's not really the same. It's not like introducing a character like Gojo, where he's literally like the end all be all.
I'm trying to think. There are some moments I feel they're like very popular side characters in One Piece, but you haven't gotten there yet. They get their asses beat despite being like super popular. That's like the opposite. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other like anime or manga where like a side character got super popular and they had to keep her around despite how strong, broken, or nonsensical it would make. I feel like something like Fairy Tail probably has something like that because I know that like who's that? There's like the one female character with like red hair, like Ezra.
I don't know anything about
She's
Fairy
like the
Tail.
one character I know from Fairy Tail, but she's like everywhere, and I feel like because of it, she's so popular. She was like a pseudo main character because of that.
I'm drawing a blank. I can't really think of any like other shonen examples.
Like,
but I'm sure there's a million.
Like like Hunter x Hunter, like I don't care what happened, like who's popular. I'm telling the story I want to tell.
Yeah. Hunter x Hunter is a really good example of an author that like would not care about that.
And like One Piece would be like, oh, this is the number one Straw Hat that's not Luffy. Like there's not gonna be in this arc. Like only like Zoro's like the only one that's like in like every arc, I think, for the most part. And everybody else like, okay, this one just won't have Nami or like Usopp. It's like I gotta give credit for doing that.
At least where I am, they're always all there. They just take like
half of them have to guard the ship.
Yeah, they'll take more of a backseat role.
Yeah, because are you at Dressrosa yet?
I'm in Dressrosa.
Okay, because you kind of see like who's split up and like, who's actually like, a focus in the arc.
Oda does that a lot though. He really does.
I like
split
that.
up. Okay, this is not a One Piece podcast. All right, so we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. We're going to talk about episode 4, Hidden Inventory.
Hidden Inventory, yes.
Which
4.
I guess the Hidden Inventory is the belly.
The basement.
No, I was going to say it's the belly of Megumi's father, because that's where he keeps the little slurm guy.
It could also be Ghetto's like stomach as well, where he eats the spirits.
Yeah. Hidden Inventory.
So we basically pick up with what's it called? Rico being shot in the fucking head, like.
Which I think they gave us another shot. It was like
following her.
Yeah, it was a tracking shot where it falls with her.
But before it was just like her getting shot in the head, falling, while you just see his like reaction, like going to become the Joker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then Toji shows up, and they basically have like. They just attack each other. Just a really, really cool fight going on.
So one thing I want to say, I know we've brought up other manga. I think we talked about Junji Ito kind of recently. This whole setting, this area of like these traditional homes that are like built in these circular formations.
This will be a stage in the Jujutsu Kaisen 3D arena fighting game that's coming out.
It's very, very similar to a kind of a set piece in Uzumaki. In Junji Ito's Uzumaki, there's like a very similar looking like
village around the giant tree.
Yeah, but it's like a giant it's not a tree, it's just like a giant circular. It's like one big house that's kind of a big spiral.
Okay.
But it reminded me of that, and it's a really cool image, and I wonder if that's like if there's like a reason why that exists. Like oftentimes there's like you know what I mean? Like there's like a reference. It's like a deeper reference.
Could be a
cultural
thing. A cultural reference.
Thing. In Uzumaki, it's like specifically supposed to be like a giant like spiral, but
we learned that Toji, the way he like gets around being invisible was like he has no curse energy. He keeps basically like, oh, the reason like that curse on me doesn't like show up on me because I eat it, so I can get around hidden. That's why I use this gun that I'm pretty good. I love when people just have gun in like the fictional world of just like superheroes and shonen battle. It's great. I love it.
It's very funny. It's really interesting that he's like such a null element. Like he's like negates curse energy almost to the point where even though I think it's kind of funny that he's saying that it's undetectable when it's inside him because he's zero, but I guess it's like he just because he's nothing, he's kind of like a void. And
as we learn later on, they say they were like his senses allow him to see. His senses are so enhanced, like yes. That's like his like kind of power up. Is that his other senses are so good that he can sense everything and kind of see everything and interact with it.
So this was his heavenly pact, similar to how like Maki.
Yeah, but Maki doesn't have the senses because she can't see. She needs glasses.
That's crazy. That's kind of crazy that he can see them or feel them. He's super whatever with his bare eye.
He's like superhuman. Where like he's like Maki on crack. Where like he has super speed essentially and like super strength. Like he's insane.
He has all the weapons inside. It's really cool. I love his little worm guy.
I mean, he almost killed Gojo. So like that's pretty like a high bar. Like
yeah.
So yeah, the dragon he had gets like sliced up.
To be fair, one thing I do want to say, I hate to be like the power scaling guy, but Gojo was at like his limit. Gojo was like on for like 2 days, and the second that he turned his power off,
well, he's like, "Oh, since you're in that clan, you learned all about my family's power. This time, I have to use my power that you don't know about." So
his super secret special power.
Yeah. So yeah, they fight. A lot of his spirits get this murked. It's great.
Yeah, I love the way that dragon looks. The animation style for the dragon looks super cool.
And then they do a fighting game stage transition where they cut one of the parts of the village and they fall down to like a little like
they're on like a
woods.
falling platform for like 5 minutes. It's very
so
funny.
good. It's so silly.
It's like this complex must be like miles and miles high.
And
or
then,
deep rather.
And there's a lot in this two episodes of just extension of powers and stuff like that, where like they fight and everything, and then basically Goto gets the X slice on his chest. Like the Zoro
Ghetto.
Yeah, Ghetto. Ghetto gets like the Zoro / finishing move on him and like loses. And yeah.
But so this is the coolest part though. And this is one thing that, like, I always love these little nuggets in Jujutsu Kaisen. It makes me feel like the story's smarter than I think it is. Where basically because he's a cursed spirit user or whatever, like he uses curses, if Toji were to kill him, all of those curses would come out of him.
Yeah.
So it's easier for Toji to incapacitate him than kill him, which is a great reason why he's still alive.
Or
That's very clever.
Or at least wound him enough that he can just get away, and then that'll be their problem to worry about.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, he's able to track them because of his senses. Another thing he was able to do, like.
Yeah, which is cool. I really love that idea because, like, I always think of Dragon Ball. It's like when you have superpowers, like Saiyans, it totally makes humans invalidated. But then you have a character like this guy Toji, where he's able to use like human tracking skills. Like he's like a hunter. He can like look at footprints.
I like when they do that, when like you don't have to be like the almighty power. Like One Piece has this power system where if you don't have a devil fruit, you can also just be a combatant as well. Like equal power to him.
It's cool. It's a cool balance.
Also, he also does a line of the maid's probably dead. I'm tempted to look at her of her wiki page to see if she.
Don't do it. I'm sure she'll come back, Sam.
I'm sure this maid.
The fact that she's not confirmed dead means for sure she is not dead. And it's funny because his reaction was like, I really wasn't paying too much attention whether I killed her or not. She might still be alive. She wasn't
important.
Yeah, which honestly fair. He was in a rush.
But yeah, the fight happens. He gets slashed. He walks away to go collect his money, but he takes the corpse back to like the cult.
What are
leader.
they called? The Shining Light clan or the cult or something?
The Time Vessel Association.
Oh, the TVA.
Also, he remembers Megumi's name when he like at the end. There.
Yeah, that was a weird moment of comedy after he like killed a middle schooler.
He finally remembered him. But yeah, so he body's back. They're like, "You're gonna get paid. Good job. I'm going to probably show this body off to my cult." We get so weird. They're gonna like show her body like being like displayed or like crucified.
I literally thought they were gonna have her like crucified like Jesus Christ. But so
the Star Religious Group.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So the Star Religious Group was like happy to receive her body.
Yeah. He was super happy. He was like wrapping up that body while they were talking to them.
And yeah, so basically, Toji is like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Like, I got my bag. Like, I'm out of here. Like, this is fine."
Hey, you want to go get some food? Like, no, I told myself that the only time I'm working with you is either at work or in hell.
Yeah,
so
he's like, next
off.
time I'll see you is work or hell. I thought that was good because like, why would anybody want to be with this man?
Dude, this unpleasant.
He's like the most awful human alive.
This is murder.
And so
the man killed a middle schooler.
Yeah, with no remorse. He loved it. He loved doing
it. Oh, we expected you to fail, so you should get a bonus, I guess. We didn't think you actually would like.
Yeah,
live.
That's crazy that they expected him to fail. I guess because Gojo's reputation is like so.
But yeah.
Then we have God Gojo.
He's like, I'm gonna go casually walk away. Oh no, Gojo's back. He's like, he lived because he just did his bullshit.
So, if I understand correctly, and I'm sure there's a lot of bullshit
I have a little bit on here.
So he poured like all of his negative curse energy into, I guess, the wound
to stop it
from being like a wound. I guess
because like I think you only could see his skull. That's why he was showing the flesh on his head. You kind of see the skull, so like I guess he stopped it from like piercing his brain. Like, you should have went for the head like Thanos style.
But so, okay, basically my understanding is that Gojo did a technique that is so, like, experimental that, like, no one has done it successfully before.
He said he tried, he said he was never successful until now. I think that may have been the thing he tried in, like, the first episode of this arc, where it just fizzled out, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And he awakened to that power now, and he's kind of high on it.
He's basically, I mean, like, there's a lot of religious connotations in this episode. mostly they're from a Buddhist perspective. Because I think a lot of the lore is kind of Buddhist tinged, but this is definitely like a Jesus thing.
Yeah.
Like Gojo is like he's like fucking second coming of Christ.
There's also a very funny moment I forgot to mention
resurrection. Sorry,
was Ghetto, where he tried to use his technique to basically, I'm a higher level, so I can instantly absorb his inventory system, and it just didn't work. I thought that was a very funny power he had.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. So Gojo basically just fucking destroy. Uses all his power. He has like red. He uses the red, which I think is that's push.
Red is push.
Red is
blue
push.
is pull.
and there's also stop.
Okay.
Stop, push, and pull.
So the thing is that they're both. So I think red is
reversal
push.
is red.
Yeah, reversal. But then there's also if you the whole thing is that like you can do a curse attack, but then you can also do the reverse curse version.
Yes.
So that's why he has like variations of these attacks. Yes. I can't explain this very well.
Limitless is ridiculous.
Limitless is just him taking the pill, and his brain he uses 100% of his brain.
Pretty much, honestly. They want that pill.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the fucking weird like Sadako ring lady.
Oh yeah, that appeared that one time with the whole slip mouth woman story.
Like froze time.
Why did she only do that? She only did it one thing. She's gonna come back later on and actually do more against whoever he fights.
That'd be cool.
I hope. Because he released like
dead.
two demons, and that was the only, or two spirits, and that was the only one you really saw.
Yeah,
but
he did catch bullets with some weird thing. Okay, sorry, we're talking about Gojo now.
But yeah, Gojo does powers. Toji is like stopping it. He basically like, I gotta use this new weapon, which is like the chain, like the sword with his chain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. We love a good chain. We love a good chain.
The chain
animation.
of 1,000 miles.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Vanessa Carlton
I wonder
song.
how long ago.
But yeah, Gojo just like fucks him up still. Just like, yeah, you're fucked, man. Like your family may know some shit because the Zenin clan's kind of fucked, but they don't know about the purple technique, which is just like it's essentially like splitting an atom. It felt like. Yeah,
I guess the idea is that it's like
I put all the colors together.
That's probably a good metaphor for it. It's like he's basically just like it's like shoving two magnets together. Like you're creating like an incredible amount of force. Is I guess the idea, and he pushes him. This is also really cool how they show this too. Like he plows him through like 90 buildings, and then he's missing like most of his torso.
He didn't get blasted through the building. It's just the blast literally like, got him standing up, and like at the meantime, he's like his light kind of flashes through his eyes because he has a flashback to his this child, his Megumi, and like I guess he went to go get him abandoning them or just went to go get money that he probably gambled away anyway. And yeah, he's fucking dead, and he dies standing up.
So yeah, also in the scene, Gojo is like floating around. He's basically in like this sort of like a religious euphoria, I want to say. He's
on a high.
He's on a power high. He even says he's like a high. Like
it's like
which it kind of makes sense because like I can understand that like if you die and come back, like you're probably experiencing a crazy amount of like weird chemical reactions in your body. Like your adrenaline's probably like pumping like crazy.
I think like all like power highs and shonen that I've seen, and I'm like it's more so them playing around with their food or like berserk, that kind of berserk power where like you don't have control over it and you're just getting fucked up.
Yeah,
this is more of like like he's just
there's like a euphoria element to it.
I don't think I see that often in a lot of stuff.
No, and that's why like pairing this with like the ending scene almost makes Gojo feel like a villain here. Like he could have taken the evil path.
He loses himself to his own power.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Before he dies, he's like, "Any last words?" I wish he'd like.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping he would like there's no way he could talk. His lungs don't exist anymore.
He's like, in like 2 or 3 years, my son Megumi is gonna probably be sold off by the clan.
He's like, "Do with that information what you will." It's like, all right, whatever.
Sure. And then he fucking dies standing up like a boss.
Yeah, epic.
He said the Megumi is real, and then die without.
I love that how do you even fucking stand up and die?
I don't
like,
think.
Do you just like lock your fucking legs?
Is that physically possible to die standing up? I'm not googling that.
You'd have to like your body would have to like enter rigor mortis, but still like you'd have to have like perfect like weight balance.
Especially half your body missing, or your body be uneven.
Yeah, no. It's very cool,
and
but I feel like it's so
like
stupid.
Guts and he wasn't dripping nearly as much as he should have been.
Yeah.
And then what's it called? And then Goto gets his little like inventory things, crawls his way back to in the after credits, like crawls his way back to him and
Literally,
yells
he's
"mommy."
like, "Mommy."
It's so funny.
Which, okay, question: do you think that gives him access to all the inventory inside there?
I mean, he remember in the movie he had the little staff thing that Maki ended up having later on. So I'm assuming yes. I'm assuming he has access to the inventory depending on, or at least half the inventory because it was cut in half.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking about that too. My idea was like, oh, maybe everything slid out of him because it was cut in half.
Because like two of the weapons, a couple of the weapons broke in some of the battles, so I'm assuming there's probably a handful left in there.
You would assume that he would be prepared.
And it's like, and yeah.
How many more guns are in there though?
In the subspace highway bag. So yeah, and then they go basically They both go to the cult thing, and like Gojo gets the body back while the entire cult is clapping. It's very uneasy.
Because they won essentially. Like they got what they wanted. Like the vessel was destroyed.
And it's like Gojo's like, should we kill them? Like we should kill them for what And they did. And he's like,
and Ghetto is like, there's not like a good reason. He's like
the entire organization is gonna be disbanded. Like they're gonna go back to the to the world. Like they're not gonna be back at full power ever. Like it's like there's no point of killing them. But Gojo's like, we really should.
Gojo, yeah, and the way that shot is framed, Gojo is like exiting, and it's all red behind him. And Ghetto is still in the room, and he's like bathed in blue. And very interesting.
Gojo's like, I'll take credit. I take credit for her death. It's my responsibility. Like that was my bad. I was supposed to hold him off outside and essentially this is my I take responsibility. Because what are they gonna do? Fire me or hold me on suspension? Essentially.
What are you gonna do? Fire me? I'm fucking Gojo.
I'll kill them. I'll fucking kill all of them.
I'm literally God and Jesus combined.
But I really love the kill them or not kill them kind of mentality. I'm like, I feel like they probably should, because cult members are still fucking dangerous, especially if one of them was too high in the power. And they didn't mention if they killed the lead. Did they mention if they killed the leader or not that we saw?
That I'm not sure about. I mean, I remember Gojo saying a line, something along the lines of, "There's no leadership anymore."
He's like, these are all non-sorcerers. They are no threat to us, essentially. So yeah, nothing. I don't think so.
And it seemed like there was something, it seemed like it was dissolving anyway. That's when Ghetto takes over and he's able to kind of step in, and use fear to gain everyone's control.
But yeah, it's the beginning of his crisis of consciousness, which we'll get into next episode, which is premature death.
And it's really interesting to think that Gojo is the one that kind of sets this idea in his mind.
Yes. Damn, this episode doesn't have an episode description, but whatever. I have a brief one, but
so basically, Ghetto becomes a sweatpants girly, where all he does
1 year
is
later,
wear
by the way.
sweatpants. Yeah, so it's a year later. Gojo has become Gojo. He completely mastered his abilities.
Maybe not 100%, because he said I still haven't mastered my domain expansion, which is just the infinite.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Mind blowing.
And teleporting, which we know by the main series, season 1, he has done both of those.
Yeah, because Zero, he said the reason we separated is to get Gojo away from the main building.
Yeah, and I think even then he still teleports.
He's not nearly.
He teleports Panda and Maki.
Yeah.
No, not Panda and Maki. Panda and the talker guy.
Is it Togo?
Toga.
I think it's Togi. Togo.
Togi. I think it's Togi.
Togi. Yeah, Togi.
He does teleport them. So yeah. He does eventually get these.
It's funny, just okay, these guys have because they're all special curses. You have this power, and then you have I have the voice curse or the noise curse, and it just destroys my vocal cords if I use super strong words.
Yeah.
Or I have limitless power. I use 100% of my brain.
Oh, I can just use limitless power and teleport people, and also domain expand, and then turn you into a mush.
So don't worry, that dude got better. That volcano Krakatoa got better.
He did. That pissed me off. He should have been catatonic forever.
That'd been great. Hey, what do you think about this?
He's just drooling the whole time.
But yeah, 1 year later, the Gojo basically power establishment. He has he can control, basically switch to the colors instantly, combine them.
He's created a way for his powers to automatically work where he's able to judge threats subconsciously. So they have a scene where Shoko and Ghetto throw a pencil and eraser at him, and he's able to stop the pencil but not the eraser subconsciously.
He does.
Insanity. That's why he fucking wears a blindfold all the time.
So yeah, I guess so. Maybe I can enhance my senses by doing the default covering up my eyes. But even then, It's very funny he wears the blanket. He went from the sunglasses look are so much better though. But yeah, so the episode basically focused around what's it called?
Ghetto
Contemplating. He's like in the shower, butt naked, just coming the Joker.
That shower scene.
And we get a scene where, oh god, what's the name of like the one character, like Nami's friend? I forget the name of him.
You know, I didn't.
He's not very important because he just dies.
He has a cute scene where he talks to Ghetto and he's like, "Hey, Ghetto,
don't become the Joker."
He's like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And Ghetto's like, "Do you think you have what it's in you to be a Jujutsu sorcerer?" And he's like, I haven't really thought about that. He's like, I'm just kind of chilling.
Well, I'm going on a mission. I'll get you a souvenir. I'm sure I'll be back A-okay.
Oh, and then he died.
Yeah. So they meet, what's it called? Mr. Toto's master, Yuki Tsukumo.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the girl I remember because she does the first thing she asks is what is your type of woman?
Yes.
Yeah, and like we saw very brief flashes of her in the first season.
Yeah, she has the fully coolly scene.
Vespa motorcycle.
Yeah, she encounters young Toji at like the same setting as the beginning of Fully Coolly.
Yes, and the crux of like the happy episodes is her talking to him about like how to stop the world like with the curses.
Yeah, so
there's two ways.
She's interesting because she even says she doesn't like JJ, like the high school.
Yeah, she doesn't do any missions.
Yeah.
She's the same kind of great as Gojo and him, but like she's just
She's her own spirit, and like that makes her dangerous. But yeah,
special rank characters are just seen to be like wild cards that can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. So yeah, she said basically like if we want to eliminate the curse issue, then there's two things we can do. Either what was the first what was the first one? The second one is way more interesting.
You mean to kill the humans?
I think the first one is like prevent humans from leaking curse energy. Because in the second one is turn everyone into the first one is turn everyone into a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So teach everyone how to be a sorcerer, which is like untenable, and we kind of talk about. It's like a meme.
Like, we scare them to go defaultly to the school, but like
that's the second option, which is kill everyone or
kill them all, Peter.
Yeah, was that am I crazy? Was that so the two options were turn everyone into a sorcerer or stop the curse, stop people from leaking curse energy. I feel like how do we just watched this?
I know because I usually had the wiki up just to like give me like a good idea of keep track of the episode. That one just did on these Jujutsu Kaisen wiki. I'm actually Wikipedia actually has more of a description of it. Desire to rid the world of cursed spirit created by curse and given off by non-sorcerers. So yeah, but I guess that first option is not like important because he just goes with option number 2 because he's to kill all the non-sorcerers and force them to adapt. Essentially, it's number 2. That's the first one's not important because that's the one he doesn't go with.
Yeah,
according to the wiki, that's what's important.
And ultimately, she kind of even says like, this is not like, unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person that can do this.
Yeah,
like she seems like okay with it.
Like you and Gojo probably could.
And it does bring up a question. So his whole big transformation in this episode is that he goes from like having respect for the weak to having contempt for the weak.
Monkeys.
Yeah, he calls them monkeys.
Very much the Frieza, like,
yeah.
If not powerful, like, sorcerer like me, you're below me. You're, like, nothing more than, like, a bump.
I just kind of realized he's kind of like Magneto. He's kind of like Magneto.
Yeah, I guess
he thinks that like the
except
sorcerers are like better and they should kill all the non-sorcerers.
Except not having seen the horrible of humans before he even was a mutant.
Yeah, Ghetto rather. Ghetto's like justification for hating humans, I think is kind of, I don't want to say it's weak because I don't think it's weak, but it's not nearly as like impactful as you'd expect it to be.
Gojo is like a Jean Grey Phoenix kind of thing where like they can just fucking do whatever the fuck they want. Like they're too strong but without any limiters.
Like it's not, so he like the big event for him was Toji, sorry, what's his name? Megami's dad, Toji?
Yeah.
Toji killing the Riku.
Riku, yeah, from some Kingdom Hearts.
So Toji killing Rika was his big event, but Toji
his canon event.
Toji is kind
Rico.
of like, even though he's not like objectively, he's not a sorcerer. he's kind of a sorcerer. Like, he's involved in the world. Like, he uses the power.
Yeah.
He uses, like, curses.
Because that's the thing I was thinking about. I'm like, just having a world of just a curse, it's just gonna make another like a power struggle world of just like, oh, we make everybody a superhero.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like giving everyone a gun. Like,
we'll give everybody the X gene in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. If you give every human a gun, no matter how many people, there's always going to be like a small percentage of people who
abuse that power.
Yeah, or who are mentally like unwell, or who like are, you know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be people who are going to do horrible things. That's just how society works.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like a stupid mentality.
And I've seen with the cult, that's going to lead to, the same, mentality of like, oppositions that are just going to go drastic in one way.
Yeah, and it's so selfish for him to use the cult too, because that is such like a horrible and negative. Like it's I think his arc is really interesting because of how selfish he is. Like, he doesn't have any care for these people, so he says he like starts this cult or whatever, continues it just because he wants money and curses, and that's a good way for him to get both. Like,
he hadn't got his island purgatory yet for his like goons, his main goons. But yeah, also the guy who goes on the mission to kill his name is Haibara. That's the Nanami's like partner, I guess, or former partner.
Okay, Haibara.
And then we also see the two young sorcerer girls that we saw that I forgot about in the movie.
Yes, which is also probably like the big evil thing that Ghetto does.
It's so funny because like we had the goons in the first season and they're like not that interesting. But I don't care about Mojito, who's supposed to be the most interesting one. But like all the ones from the movie, I'm like, these are way more interesting like character design.
Yeah, there was like the African dude.
But he became bros with the main character.
He becomes a good guy.
He left that group. He's like, I'm going on a road trip with them.
But like he was really interesting, and I liked his like cool like a woven like whip thing that he used. The two girls who the one is kind of like a social media like they that with her like to me that's way more compelling than like Mojito, who I hate.
Mojito's like, it's like, oh, he's the Joker, Hisoka, supposed to be the crazy, wacky guy, like, and then you have, was it Jugo, who was like the volcano guy, who's just a volcano guy?
It was Jogo, because it's Jogo versus Gojo, was that one episode.
Yeah, and then there's the cuttlefish, who has done nothing yet, I think. And then the tree one is a cool design, and I think that was probably the most interesting, like, look to him.
Yeah, Hinami,
and existing to get their ass beat by the boys.
Yeah, but it's at the end of the day, when you're fighting a curse is like nothing.
Yes.
A curse is just like a force of nature. Ghetto is like a human. Like, he's got like interesting motives. The fact that he's orchestrating this all makes me way more interested in the plot going forward.
And like the most interesting thing about that faction is that they're like very sentient curses, like hyper intelligent curses that like can be like, I guess, like kind of like an AI kind of thing, where like it's kind of weird that they got to like a human style intellect. And like Mojito is like the most human one out of them, but like they don't do too much with that yet. Like, because like he goes.
Was Mojito a curse or was Mojito a dude? I literally don't.
I'm
even
pretty
know.
sure all of them are just curses.
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
I need to look now, because I feel like my understanding of season 1 has changed. Like, Mojito could have been a guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're all like curses, but they're like a weird anomaly curses that are just hyper intelligent, kind of like I think. Because all the other ones had just been like mindless, like muscle brain.
Okay, he is an unregistered special grade curse spirit, so he's a curse. Okay.
Yeah, and so we get that you get the thing we saw in the movie with like them being like basically those two girls being isolated from and like wanted to be killed in the village, and Ghetto's like, I'm just gonna kill everybody in this village, including my parents. It's fine. These children.
Yeah, no qualms.
No qualms, and yeah. And he's sentenced to death. He's like branded a curse user and sentenced to death. And Gojo cannot fucking, he like does not believe it, which I kind of love that, him like freaking out, but like this is not real, man. He's like, and like as we didn't mention before, Gojo was like going on missions alone, so like none of his squad mates would have to like be in danger.
Yeah,
essentially.
And it's interesting too, because I think that really drove a divide between them.
Because he didn't really interact with any of them. The one girl just never went on missions anymore. She just stayed there.
Yeah, Shoko never went on missions, and I think it's the reason why the OP exists and it shows them being friendly is to drive this comparison of like things were good, things were fine, but now like because Gojo has awakened to this power and he doesn't need anyone anymore, him and Ghetto's friendship kind of is like nothing. Like,
yeah.
And then when we see Shoko in the future, she also has like a dead kind of look. Like she has like the bags under her eyes.
Yeah. Oh my god, you get that a lot with Ghetto close up. You just see like he had like a sleepless night, maybe the thinking about what to do. And...
he's tormented. He's a tormented young boy.
But yeah, so he confronts Ghetto in like Shibuya, and like he's like, yeah, go ahead, you better kill me now. Like I had no problem killing my parents. Like it's better this way. Like I'm just going to kill all the monkeys. And Gojo doesn't do it.
No, he can't. He can't bring himself to do it. And like I'm so interested in Ghetto because the fact that he like saved these girls and like killed everyone else. I love that like when you have a villain who is like compassionate to other people, like he's compassionate to other cursed users.
They're treated like monsters. Like they blamed they blamed whatever was happening on their village on them. And he's like humans are telling kill them. They're monsters. And he's like, oh, fuck you, you're gonna die.
It's just funny because, like, if that was Ghetto's origin story, his current actions would make more sense. But the fact that it wasn't is, like, even more interesting to me.
It's just one of his first, like, big acts after he'd made his decision.
Yeah, he's just, like, he just came to this conclusion. And even though he didn't really have, like, a big horrifying event where, like, a human...
Didn't have a canon event.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we see the moment when Ghetto takes over the Star Religious group and, like, crushes the leader with
which I also love that whoever he's with is like, are you really wearing that? Because he wears this very traditional kimono.
It's for the image, or like you gotta go for the scam. You gotta dress the part.
Which I really like that. It makes him seem like even more like clever, and it's just cool. He looks fucking cool.
It's good, yeah.
It really completes the look of him being evil.
And there's some really good casual. I was with the one lady, Yuki. Her drip, her outfit was like spot on. It didn't beat Urahime and the season 1 drip, but like it's still pretty damn good. But
I also like Ghetto's. He has like sweatpants and like a big baggy shirt on.
Yeah, it's very good. It's not like
it's his depression wardrobe.
It is honestly. It honestly is his contemplation, depression, like thinking about life, like have a bowl of ice cream. Yeah, and then basically the end we have Gojo meeting Megumi, Child Megumi, who is like. I forget the name of the girl. Didn't have her in the description, but he's like living with her and saying like I can't really go with. I don't care about my dad. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, who was the girl? Was she in season 1?
I cannot.
Her face looked kind of familiar.
I cannot.
If I type in who is the girl with Megami,
I wouldn't do that. but no.
What if that's the neighbor, Sam, that moved away?
The neighbor ties everybody together.
Oh, wait, here we go. Who is the girl in Megami Flashback? Sumiki Fushiguro.
What's her name?
Fushiguro.
This wiki gotta get its shit together, man.
I think she was in season 1. Yeah, she was in episode 5 of the anime in a flashback, apparently.
Okay, sure. I'm sure she part of
older stepsister of Megami.
Oh my!
And stepdaughter of Toji Fushigo.
Okay.
Fushiguro.
Way to go, step bro. But okay, good to know. But yeah, and he basically says like, if you want to learn more about your dad, hit me up. Like can my sister come? Like, no. And that's basically the end of that flashback. And he's like, we'll meet again later. And then he comes to the present. We meet our gang is back together, and that's it. That's it. Our idiot group of Nobara, Yuji, and Megumi are back together.
Yeah, that scene was cute. It was happy. It made me happy to see them again.
I'm ready for his Shibuya arc, which is the next arc coming.
But it's in fucking weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't come on till like August 31st, which is like the same time I think One Piece live action drops.
Oh, is that true?
I believe so.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
We're gonna have a lot to watch. Can't wait.
I do want to say we did get one more comment that I would like to read in its entirety because I thought it was insightful. By Zip Z Stream.
And again, anything that we're missing or correction, or like we did earlier, just let us know in the comments, like insights.
This is a bit of a long one. I'll just read it in its entirety. So last week or last whatever episode, we were talking about the sorry,
you're good.
We were talking about who was the director for this season because the first season had a different one. So Zip Z Stream said, on top of what you guys mentioned already, Shota Gashozono, the kids call him Gasso, was the episode director for episodes 8 and 17 of JJK's first season. Episode 8 was Toto versus Megami, and episode 17 was Maki versus Mai. This is his first gig as a series director, which has a lot of people excited because he's super focused on stylish direction and camera nuance.
I can tell.
Yeah. It turned out very well so far, but I don't expect it to last. The season is pushed out a year too early. The season is being pushed out a year too early. The production committee got it in their heads that this project would turn out fine even if they rushed it because the movie JJK 0 was made in 9 months. If Core isn't delayed, I would expect some production compromises, if not a total crash.
Well, we got the 3-week break. So I'm looking at the list right now, and it's just like Shibuya Arc is 6 volumes of manga that have
oh my gosh,
several that have not volume released that haven't released yet.
Oh wow,
they don't release till like the end of the year essentially.
So I guess that makes sense.
Okay, from episode 30 to 47 are going to be the Shibuya incident arc.
Wow, that's crazy. So pretty cool. That's very Thank you for the comment. Very insightful. I can't help but draw the comparison to One Punch Man, which also had a similar issue, from my understanding, that the production committee... So basically, my understanding of anime is that there are production committees that oversee an IP, and they're the ones that choose what studio handles the actual like production of it. And One Punch Man Season 2, infamously,
oh god,
was kind of rushed out, rather than having the production committee spend the time to reassemble the team that made the first one, because it was this like kind of a star-studded like cast. Or the star-studded crew, they just kind of picked a studio and were like, hey, we should get this out. Like, there's a lot of hype for this. We don't want the hype to die.
What studio was it?
I'm
going to look it up.
Wasn't it? It wasn't Mappa, right? I don't think Mappa did One Punch Man.
1 second.
It's funny because Mappa seems to be like taking everything now. But yeah, so really worried.
JC Staff.
Oh, it was JC Staff. Interesting. They are... I mean, I'm a little worried about this comment. I don't want it to take a dip. It's really good so far. Season 1 had like a couple areas, I think, in animation where you could be like, all right, I can see how they skimped here for where they blow like crazy things later, in a good way. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see something like that. But I think this first batch of episodes we covered was like stellar. It looked amazing. Someone mentioned the sound design as well. The sound design was like really, really good. The music was pretty good. I don't want to see it take a downturn, especially if this is supposed to be like the premier JJK arc that everyone is hyping up.
Like, yeah, I only really care about this more than like Demon Slayer or like any of the big things that have been coming out.
It's the only real anime that I care about
until Attack on Titan
now.
ends.
Yeah, well, Attack on Titan's like on its way out.
When this is done, Attack on Titan should hopefully be out by then.
It should. I think it's in the next few months.
I hope so.
Attack on Titan should be out.
Yeah,
unless they push that back, they might have pushed it back.
Yeah, nothing really crazy. I'm like, I haven't really been like binge watching anime in a while.
Me either. It's really hard to just sit down and watch anime. Yeah. I even tried watching like Boichi and like some of the big hits, and I just can't. There's some shows I just can't get into.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm like behind about, like or on, so I feel.
And at the end of the day, I'd much rather read manga. It's just quicker. Same.
Which is why our discussion is about manga. So
yeah, I just like the amount of content that I've read in One Piece versus the amount that I would have had to have like sat through to watch is insane. Just like, so I find it really interesting that apparently early in One Piece's run, they did more filler than now.
Yes.
They don't really do filler arcs. Like they don't really do filler arcs now as much. They just extend, they just kind of like extend one chapter to be like an episode length with like reaction shots and flashbacks and things like that, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But there are some early One Piece arcs that are like filler only that I've heard are pretty good, that I'm curious about checking out, actually.
That's like always like a thing with Shonen that did that, where like they have like famous filler episodes that are made, like, you know, the famous driving arc in Dragon Ball Z.
That one's really funny. I can't believe that's not from the manga. That feels like something that would, like, Toriyama would have drawn, like Goku in like a funny car.
I think like Naruto may have a few. I remember like weird ones, like Naruto fights a robot Naruto.
Because, like, the one that I heard about right after Skypiea, there's, like, a whole arc called, like, the G8 arc, where the whole Straw Hat crew, like, infiltrates, like, the G8 naval facility, and, like, they all split up and have their own little adventure. And it sounds like a filler. It sounds like a filler arc, but I want to check that out. That and some of the movies. I'm curious about some of the One Piece movies.
The movies. Yeah, a lot of them are probably hit or miss, but just find like a list of the good ones.
Yeah, I think 4. I think movie 4 I've heard is good.
They're like Lupin movies where you gotta you find the right one to watch. So what do we think is the Shibuya arc, and what do we think is happening for this big arc, like the first like really huge arc that takes up entire season essentially?
It's a good question. I mean, I hope it's got to be Ghetto focused.
It's gonna be in Shibuya.
It's probably gonna be in Shibuya. And it's funny, didn't we have isn't that where Ghetto and Gojo met at the end of this last episode
believe
too?
So. So do you think this is a Ghetto related incident? You're assuming.
I hope so, because he's the character I think is most interesting right now.
Do you think Gojo gets fridged or not fridged?
That's also the thing. I feel like he's going to get fridged. I feel like Gojo is gonna have like a special. Or sorry,
locked
it's
up.
Really hard. Ghetto is gonna have a special curse.
We're gonna seal
or something.
You up.
Like that's gonna seal him.
We're gonna put you into the purgatory. You're gonna stay there.
So currently we've got. I mean, no villains have died. That's famously no villains have died. We have Edward Elric. We have
Incel Edric Elric.
Incel. I can't even say Incedward Elric. Incedric Seldric.
My favorite part, like the end of the first season, where you ask people about some of the characters, and they didn't say literally who, and not important.
So yeah, we've got Ghetto. We have Edward Elric. We have Cuttlefish Ghost or Ghost. We have Cuttlefish Curse, Tree, Volcano, and there's a fourth one.
Cuttlefish?
I said Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish?
Volcano. Oh, Mojito. And then also, remember the girl? Remember there was also a girl in that one scene?
Oh, yeah. The child.
The girl with like a scar on her face, I think.
Yeah.
Literally there for 1 second. I remember when that scene... We had watched Jujutsu Kaisen like a year after it came out. And I talked to one of my friends on Discord about it. And I was like, yeah, and they introduced another fucking girl. And in one of those Mojito scenes, and he was like, I'm current with the manga and I don't know who that character is. I was like, fuck you, JJK.
It was also the two girls that we saw in the flashback.
Yes, which they did not show up in the movie. Or sorry, they only showed up in the movie. Yeah. They didn't show up in season 1.
Do we think Sukuna shows up or like has like an impact in this arc at all?
Probably.
Does he switch with him or does he break out or like?
It feels like we're probably gonna get like an epic Secunda moment.
Do you think? Okay, it's actually probably villains. Do you think it's them or is it gonna be the Zenin family?
It would be really interesting if it was a Zenin.
Because like I can see it either be or an arc where it's like three factions that are asshole. Or
that'd be they're assholes.
2 asshole factions.
That would be interesting because I feel like we've heard a lot of like buzz about them, but we haven't really seen them in action. We've only seen like the people who have gotten like kicked out of the clan.
Yeah.
So we kind of need like a villain in the clan to be like the person that like Maki can square off against. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now that Toji's dead. Like...
Oh my god! I found the one character that we only saw in the end of the first season.
There she is. Oh, she doesn't have a scar. She has just red hair.
It's a streak on her hair.
Unknown.
Unknown. But yeah. I'm thinking. I think it'd be like a 3-way incident or something.
3-way.
And do you think any of the villains will actually die from the?
God, I fucking hope so.
I
wouldn't put money on it though. I wouldn't put money on it.
A villain will die that's not introduced just for the arc.
No, I don't think so.
No. Kind of agree with you, but I think like
how cool would it be if like all of the named curses died, like all of them get killed?
That'd be amazing.
It won't happen, but that'd be awesome.
Which side character do you think will get like the big focus or the fight?
Probably Maki. From what I've heard, I've heard a little bit. I feel like Maki gets like a lot of focus.
Other than Maki, if you had to say not Maki, because I think I agree with you there too.
Are we considering like Megumi? Like I feel like Megumi's really...
if it's not Yuji getting focused, then yeah.
And then that ties in with Maki too, because they're both from the Zenin clan.
Yeah.
They're both like discarded from the Zenin clan.
Do you think Mai is it a Maki arc? Or is it Maki and Mai?
You know, I like Mai. I'd like for more focus on Mai, but I feel like Maki definitely. She's more interesting.
She's built up as the girl in the show more than Nobara.
She has like a lot of focus in the movie too.
Do you know that Gojo, Yuji, Nobara are in Fortnite now?
Are they really?
Yes. I can't believe you did not know.
I did not know. I keep seeing ads for the Futurama ones. I see like Leela and Fryer in it.
Yeah, and Bender.
Bender, yeah.
And Megumi.
So wait, it's
Gojo with the gun, baby. Gojo with the web slinger.
It's so funny to me how like Attack on Titan got the fucking Call of Duty crossover, and then like Attack on Titan should have gotten the fucking Fortnite crossover. Why did they not get the Fortnite crossover?
Hey, I think they just wanted the 3D maneuver gear for Fortnite. That's why he had to get like Levi and.
But haven't they done something like Spider-Man?
They had web slinger.
Yeah, I'm sure they could have done something like
no.
that.
But the web slinger, you just go like this, but with the hand. But with the 3D maneuver gear, you go like you thrust.
You thrust, yeah.
And you get to have Mikasa's scarf in the game.
The most memorable anime relic.
But I kind of I think we kind of have similar thoughts and predictions for that too. There was that one thing I sent you before, where it's the iconic anime. It's your favorite. It was like Mikasa's scarf.
Yeah, it's like what's more iconic, Pokeballs or Mikasa's scarf? Like I wonder what's more iconic. All right, I think I'm done.
All right, but overall, I think really very different episodes of it just like being like a character driven episodes more so than the fights. I feel are more important.
Yeah, it's crazy how I mean like the characters they've always had really good standout characters, but it's crazy when you get to really focus on a few of them.
The character that we kind of care more about than
even Gojo. I found myself caring a lot more about Gojo.
Yeah.
In this, at least seeing him like depowered or like lesser powered.
Him getting sliced up was amazing.
Yeah, that was actually really cool, and
and
like seeing him weak too, like how he had to like keep his like curse energy up for like 2 days straight, and he was like exhausted from it.
He was weak emotionally and physically. Like, yeah. it's interesting to see OP characters being weak.
We love to see it,
but now he's broken again, and he's probably a little crazy because his boyfriend left him to become evil. You hate to see it, folks,
and he can't kill him.
You gotta do it, Gojo.
We love it.
You gotta kill him.
We love a good dynamic like that.
Gojo, it looks like we're gonna have to kill Ghetto. Damn.
Not again.
Not again. But yeah, I'm excited for more. I guess you won't get another episode of this until like September.
Yeah, we should probably wait for 3, I guess, to come out.
2 or 3, depending on. Actually, that one wiki had a list of like the episodes of like where the volumes would be, but like.
Maybe we'll throw it to the commenters. The people, the manga readers probably would know.
If there's like specific fights that are going to be episode length, then we'll probably like wait for them. But
yeah.
But if you do it,
all right.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you. We were so thrilled by the comments last episode. Like, it's no secret that this is one of like our
lesser reviewed.
Yeah, like this does not get the JoJo numbers. No. So let's be real. But we really love the small community of JJK fans that care about our opinions.
There was a small community that was also for Part 3 in pieces.
It's true.
Or Crusade through Part 3.
It's true.
So there's a fan base for every series that we have, surprisingly.
Yeah, and if we get a bunch of comments again, we'll do kind of another comment response. I really liked that. There was a lot to talk about.
Yes, definitely. I like that little portion for this show. To make the small community even like tighter.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck JoJo.
Yeah, what am I plugging up?
The hole through Toji's body, the massive fucking hole.
And not enough to plug that shit.
You would need like 1,500,000 bandages.
You gotta like just seal it up. Put some what's it called? Oh god, what's Phil Swift? Flex Seal, yeah.
You could fill him a Flex Seal. That could probably.
I just sealed Toji right now. But I guess. It's gonna be weird to do the wrap up because it's with the Twitter thing. It'd be really weird. Thank you.
Twitter.
I'm going to. Thank you all so very much for listening. If you like this episode, again, comment. You probably read these on the next episode. Like the video, subscribe, tell people. Share it. Help get it spread out into the algorithm, as they say. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter or Key. You can have me and Jim's handles on there as well. You can also join our Discord. You can subscribe to our Patreon if you want to shout out on the JoJo episodes of our Jokakaka. And I think that's all the plugs. Am I missing anything? Or are we good?
I don't think so.
All right. And with that, we will see you when the Shibuya arc begins in September, I guess, which sucks. But
all right. Thank you again for being here.
So long. Farewell.
So long, Gay Bowser.
So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye.